I'm Mike Gross, and this is Nittany Next. Penn State at home for its final home game of the season on Saturday at Beaver Stadium against Michigan. This is an important game for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is really simple, and I remember Bill O'Brien saying this: 8-4 sounds a lot better than 7-5, and this would be Penn State's 8th win. Also, I think it's kind of important in sort of the hierarchy of college football. Penn State eventually is going to have to win a big game under James Franklin against one of these big-time teams. Ohio State, well, they're obviously not up to that at this point because Ohio State is as talented as anybody in the country. Michigan, probably less so, but they've got this sort of genius cultural icon guy coaching them named Jim Harbaugh, who you may remember from the San Francisco 49ers, and he is going to build a monster almost certainly in Ann Arbor, Michigan. He doesn't have time to do it yet. However, Michigan is a really veteran team, so I think Harbaugh in his first year has kind of lucked into a little bit more talent than you would expect to find in your first year on a new gig. They've got one of the best defenses in the country. They have one of these guys who is a multi-position defensive back, kick returner. They use him on offense, named Jabril Peppers. He may remind some people of Charles Woodson, who won a Heisman Trophy as a mainly defensive player for Michigan back about 15, 16 years ago. So it's a big challenge for Penn State's offense, which, as you may have noticed, is not very good or has not been very consistent. Michigan, however, is a little bit beat up, especially on their defensive line. Last week, Indiana ran for 300 yards against Michigan. So there may be some things that Penn State can capitalize on, especially because they had a bye week last week. So supposedly they could have spent the last week, looking at film and game prepping. And I do remember, for example, the bowl game last year where they had extra time to prepare, and it looked like they figured some things out in terms of protection for the quarterback against a really good Boston College defense, and managed to have a big game offensively and win that game. So maybe we'll see a little bit of that this week. And this is, I think, a key game in Penn State's season because they'll go to Michigan State week 12. It would be really, really nice for James Franklin going forward to get a win in week 11. Thanks for watching. You can follow all our Penn State football coverage on LancasterOnline.com, Facebook, and Twitter.